What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Safety Scissors and Duct Tape Podcast, Episode 8. I am Safety Scissors.
And I'm Duct Tape.
And today, we're talking about presents.
No, today we're talking about the holidays.
Oh, even better.
And you know, neither of us dressed for this. Seriously. It's been a long day of work, and neither of us dressed for the holiday episode.
I have Christmas trees.
Okay, sure.
Happy little trees.
Sure. You have red as well.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I really I dropped the ball on this one.
We are very neutral. But no. So we're talking about the holidays and what it was like growing up with us in the 90s with holidays.
Well, without a lot of the things we're used to having. We were reminiscing. It's been a while since we filmed, and we were reminiscing about our childhood and what it was like to experience the holidays before, the internet.
Oh, yeah.
And Netflix. I have done so much stupid Christmas movie Netflix watching over the last couple of weeks, and I didn't have that back then. I had whatever VHSs I had.
Or whatever was on Hallmark at that hour.
Sure, if you were lucky enough to have cable that included Hallmark, because at that time you had the cable box, remember? Yeah. Or at least in the early 90s, you had the cable box.
Your coaxial cable, that's what we had. We had coax, yeah.
Yeah, I had antenna. We didn't have the big stuff until a little bit later, and then it was we were just watching network TV, so it was whatever Christmas movie NBC decided to play today, or whatever Christmas movie Fox decided to play today,
And now it's we were going through Netflix the other day, and it was insert descriptive word here, Christmas, or Christmas, or a Christmas, or the Christmas.
And how many Christmas princess movies are there?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
It's literally I think that the Hallmark people in Netflix, whoever's creating these Christmas movies, have a dartboard and it has different topics.
Yeah.
And they're just
I can see. All right,
so
we're
it's
going to do a prince.
Hits a dog. And the lady who owns the dog is overworked. Got it.
Cool.
Make it. And we're going to call it A Christmas Prince and a Pup.
Oh, wow. That's actually solid gold. Let's sell it.
Watch. Someone's going to submit that to Hallmark, and we're going to see it next year. I'll be like, this seems oddly familiar. Or there's a Hallmark exec watching these I knew this would pay off.
To be fair, I love this season, and I get a little I get excited to watch really dumb Christmas movies because it helps me escape the reality of right now. I'm an adult, right? And as an adult, I have a job, and my job is as a teacher. And right now, as a teacher, is the worst time of year because my students finally decided to start doing their work. So I'm okay, y'all enjoy your holiday spirit. I'll be over here crying into an essay.
Yeah. She gets messages on Christmas Eve. Can you grade my assignment so I can go to the next section? And it's Christmas Eve. And I'm I know.
But then I do it because they're actually working on Christmas Eve. So I'm okay. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm just saying, I just love escaping into a Hallmark movie. But again, that got me thinking about how we didn't have that back in the day. We didn't have, how many 5 million Hallmark movies or Netflix movies are there? It was, you go over to the closet in the kitchen or to your entertainment cabinet, and you go, I haven't seen Frosty the Snowman in a while. Let me watch that. And that's it.
I remember watching all those Frosty, what's it called? Rudolph and all those with my mom. My mom was huge into watching all those all the time. And so I was all right, cool, we'll watch it.
I loved Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That was my favorite movie as a kid. The stop motion animation, the anime. It's actually Japanese stop motion animation. I skipped 3 words.
You were just can we take this many words and go Japanimation?
It's Japanese stop motion animation, which makes it anime. Anyone who's a Noise Complaint fan that was at Hallmat last year is laughing right now.
But it was crazy because I remember just the feeling of you start seeing the commercials for those coming on like that, or Charlie Brown, and you're it's Christmas.
Okay,
and as a kid, you get super excited.
Let's talk about a 90s classic real quick.
Okay.
Charlie Brown Christmas. Guess what I've never seen?
What?
The Charlie Brown Christmas. You're not this dumb.
Guess what I've never seen?
What?
That I remember ever seeing.
The Charlie Brown Christmas? Oh my god, neither of us have seen that.
I know what the tree is, and I know that
I've
Linus
seen the
plays.
tree.
I know Linus plays the piano. That's about all I know.
I guess I just wasn't a big Peanuts fan.
I read the
more into
comics in the.
Garfield.
I read the comics in the newspaper because I'd always try to draw them. But no, I remember. And the funny part is that her and I grew up in completely different parts of the United States. I grew up where it snows in Ohio.
I grew up where you get to go to the beach on Christmas Day.
Yeah, so like. Nowadays, you see people posting pictures on Christmas, and they're like, "Oh, look at the beach on Christmas." I was like, "I'm freezing. I would wonder what the beach looks like."
I remember we used to spend Christmas Day at the beach a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, there was this coffee shop my dad really liked, and we used to go just sit at it and watch the sunrise on Christmas morning and stuff. And it was just hot outside, and I was like, "Yep, I like Florida. Florida's good." And then you were up there like freezing, but enjoying hot cocoa. You can't enjoy hot cocoa on a 90-degree day, okay?
No, I remember that was a big thing is like you come in from outside playing snowball fights or whatever you're playing, making a snowman that falls over because it's starting to melt after a while. But no, I remember, like you said, coming in and just drinking hot cocoa, and it was like the greatest feeling because all of a sudden your insides are all warm and you're like freezing. Your hands feel like they're gonna fall off, but your stomach's nice and warm, and your throat because you just burnt it on the hot cocoa because your mom's like, "Don't drink it yet, it's hot."
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's. So. I mean, it would get cool, but
no.
Not.
I miss you. You said it a minute ago. You're now an adult in this era, and I feel like the excitement and the energy was way different. Not just when we were kids, but also in the 90s.
I agree and disagree. I think that I went through a time in my life when there wasn't any magic of this time of year. And like somewhere in the last 3 years, I've suddenly got this big magic about like the holiday season. I love Hanukkah. Hanukkah's my favorite holiday of the year. So I just get super excited about that. Yeah. But also like I love Christmas and I love this time of year, except going shopping during this time of year is absolutely the worst thing in the entire world. But I've just developed this new sense of excitement. Okay. And it's different. It's not the same as we had when we were kids. And it's definitely different today than it is in the 90s, than it was in the 90s. I'm still in the 90s. That's why it's in present tense. But it's different today. You're absolutely right. And for so many reasons. But like, think back to when we were kids. I remember hating Christmas Day. Oh? Yeah. Well, absolutely despising it.
Why is that?
Well, half my family was Jewish and half my family was Christian. So, like, we celebrated Hanukkah and Christmas, but on Christmas Day, we didn't do anything. Like, maybe we'd go see a movie, but most of the time we wouldn't because my grandfather would come and he didn't want to do that. He just wanted to sit around and, like, drink all day. And for the kids, that's really boring, okay? And so the parents are like, go play with your new toys. And it's like, how long can you really play with one new toy? Yeah. It's not like I got a video game system every year. So a lot of times I found myself bored. Like, beyond bored. And none of my friends could come and play because they were all busy with their families. There was no internet for me to go to and go, okay, what's on Netflix? Or, hey, let me text my friends. Or let me Snapchat. Or let me, like, go live on Instagram. Or watch 7,000 YouTube videos on how to crochet. It's like I had nothing to do. At some point, I started remembering to ask my mom for a new book on Christmas just in case. Oh, okay. So that I could just hole up in my room, open the book, and not be bothered until the 26th.
That's a smart place. So that was your normal, like, Christmas Day routine?
Yeah, we wake up. My brother forces my mom to get up super early, and my dad sort of trudges out of bed at some point. And we woke up, and it was super early that my brother had to open presents. Super, super early. And so we would open the presents, and then we would have this big breakfast, and then nothing. Absolutely nothing. Couldn't. And all of my friends were so busy, or they would call me to tell me all the stuff that they got. That was fun. You ever just want to feel bad about the 6 presents you got when your friend calls you and they got 16? Yeah. That's great.
PSA, if you get really nice gifts, try to remember who you're talking to.
Before you brag, try to remember who you're talking to.
Because like I had friends that got way more than me, and I had friends that got way less than me. So
absolutely same.
I always was like, I would always fixate on one thing that I got that I was like super excited about, so I didn't talk about all the things that I got because I didn't want those ones to feel bad, or my other ones that were like, oh, I'm gonna brag about this, and I'm like, cool, I'm playing with my toy while you're telling me.
I remember going from the 90s to today, there was a point at which it switched from your friend calling you to tell you everything that they got because they were so excited, which, you know, you're so excited for your friend, but at the same time, you don't want to feel like you got nothing.
Yeah.
It went from that to friends posting pictures of their entire haul on Christmas Day. And I think that's worse. I think at least back in the 90s, you had to go through the effort of picking up the phone, calling your friend and going, I got this, this, this. And your friend could hang up on you if they wanted to. Now they're scrolling on Instagram and then they see this big pile of stuff. And maybe now they're not so excited about the hand knitted sweater that their mom made them. And that's pretty much all they got. Yeah. You know, and they were so happy about that sweater. Dude, I would love a hand knitted sweater. I mean, my cat would love it more than me.
Side note. She loves sweaters.
I do. I like being warm.
So that was your normal routine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I went off on 6 tangents. I was also trying to hide the fact that there was a military plane flying right over the house, and I was like, I bet it's loud, so I'm going to talk nonstop to make sure that we don't hear it.
They're going to rewind it and go, I don't hear it. Look at her. She overpowered the military plane. Yep. The United States government will be contacting you to find out how they can silence their things by having you talk now.
I'll be a specialist that they call in now. It's great.
It's the Jenne stealth. So my routine was a lot more stressful and hectic.
Oh.
This is how it happened. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Christmas Eve. We would go to my grandma's house, my mom's mom, and we would do Christmas that day because I don't know if you guys just saw the random little paw that just came up, but Bento would like to say hello to Jen. But on Christmas Eve, we would go to my grandma's house, which was like 30 minutes from our house, and we would do our entire Christmas stuff with that side of the family. So like a bunch of uncles and aunts, and one uncle and a bunch of aunts, and just a bunch of family doing that thing. And then at the end of it, we'd get done at like 10. We'd drive back home, get everything situated for Santa, and then we would go, and then I'd go to sleep.
And that's Christmas Eve.
That was Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Then Christmas morning, up to a certain point, my parents would make me wait till 7 to get them up. And then after a while, at 9, they would wake me up because they were like, "Are you gonna get up?" But then we'd wake up, we'd get situated, have breakfast, and then we would do the Santa stuff, and then the Christmas stuff where like my mom and dad's gifts and like everything. And then I'd have about an hour and a half to 2 hours before I had to start getting ready to go to my other grandma's house, my dad's mom, for that side of the family's Christmas at like 2 or 3, maybe a little earlier, and do food there. Then
I was like, there's more.
After we got done doing all the food and all the present stuff there, my mom would take me to my father's house, and then I would go to that side of the family's, like my grandma and my uncles and aunts on that side of the family. For those of you that don't know, I have 2 sets of moms and 2 sets of dads because married, divorced, remarried. I guess that wasn't a long story.
That definitely sounded like you have 2 moms in one family and 2 dads in the other family. No. But no, it's a mom and a dad on this side and a mom and a dad on this side. Also, I'm sorry, if my eyes are darting everywhere, I am trying to keep an eye on Bento, who basically just kind of like weaved his way in and out of all the tripods we've got going on.
He likes knocking things over.
Okay, everything's fine.
So I would go to my father's side of the family, and we would do food and presents there. At this point, I'm full. So we'd do that, and then I'd go back to my father's house, and then I would do the presents with my father, my stepmom, and then later on in my life, my little sister. And then finally, I could relax.
Oh, I thought there was more. I was like, oh my gosh.
At this point, I could not tell you each day what I got for Christmas.
Oh my God.
Because I had been to so many places and saw so many gifts open, I had no idea what was mine. Because like at my grandma's house, side note, I love my grandma, bless her heart. She's passed, but I love her to death. But my grandmother bought everything in bulk.
Oh.
So if my cousin opened it, I got it. If my uncle opened it, I got it. Like every one of us, like we could see it and we could just watch one person open and know exactly what we get. Now each one of the grandkids got one thing that was a little different. But aside from that, we all got the same thing, which was hilarious because half the time I also went the week before and wrapped all the gifts for her, but she would never let me wrap my gifts. She was like, I'll have your aunt do that. And I was like, okay. I wrapped everything else so I knew what we all were getting.
Oh my gosh.
But so like that, but you know what I mean? And it was just like hectic for a 10-year-old. Like at the end of it, everyone's like,
very hectic.
Everyone's like, aren't you ready to play with your toys? No, I want to sleep. Literally, I got a VHS. Put it in. I'm going to sleep.
We had very different Christmases.
Yeah.
Very different. Like most of Christmas Day was my grandfather drinking gin and watching football while my mom tried very, very hard to make sure he was not angry about anything while also drinking her weight in wine. And my mom doesn't drink that much, but when she's stressed about her dad, definitely joins in on the fun. My dad would be sitting at his computer working because he built robots. He was cool. So he'd be sitting at his computer just working. And then I'd be bored and my brother would be asleep, taking a nap or something, you know? Like it was just so boring. But the next day, that was my day to shine. I'm going to talk about my busy day.
Can I throw in one thing real quick?
Sure.
Sometimes in between going to my father's house and going to my father's mom's side of the family, I would also go to my stepmom's family.
Oh, Lord.
Sometimes. Just depends on the year. But, yeah. So, you're the 26th. Your day to shine.
Well,
what you got?
Let me backtrack a little bit. And I know it sounds like I have such a boring Christmas, but is the thing. But we had a big Christmas Eve tradition. Huge Christmas Eve tradition. Because I forgot you talked about Christmas Eve. We would put Mannheim Steamroller in the car cassette or CD player, depending on which year it was. And we would listen to Mannheim Steamroller Christmas songs while we would drive around different neighborhoods and look at Christmas lights.
Oh, wow.
It remains to this day my favorite thing to do at the holidays.
Yeah, we've done it the past couple years with your mom.
Yeah, we won't get to do it with my mom this year because we're not going to visit because, you know, travel right now is not recommended. So I'll be doing it with you. On our own. It'll be fun. I'm excited.
Maybe we can drive around and I'll either one of us is driving and the other one can FaceTime mom and show her the.
That'd be great. Although on the phone lights don't come up very good.
She'd be like, I think those are Christmas lights or headlights.
Yeah, we're not sure. But that was a big tradition for us. I think that was the most important thing to me. For my brother, it was the presents the next day. But the 26th, that was my day to shine.
Oh, yeah?
That's 50% off day at all the different stores. And it still, to this day, remains my day to shine. So my mom and I would get up super early, like 5, maybe even 4, depending on when the stores opened up. And we'd go attack the 50% off after Christmas sales. We wouldn't get what you normally think. Like, we're not going for TVs. We're not going for, like, candy. We're not going for Christmas lights or decorations. Nope. We went for like shampoo and soap and like
the gift set things?
The gift sets with stuff we would use on a normal basis because once those go 50% off, they actually get a lot cheaper. Shaving sets, like shaving cream. Like I got this one Skintimate. Remember back in the day, Skintimate? I don't even know if they still have that. Who even uses that anymore? They would have like a sampler set of 4, and we'd get it for like $5. It was crazy. Or coffees. Coffee's a big one.
I got
my mom would try to go get that. Hot sauces, cookie mix. Cookie mix was a good one to get. Or they would have like, my dad and I, we loved this. The little sausage and cheese trays. My dad and I would get one and just like nosh on it for like an hour straight and then it was gone. And so we would go for those. We'd go for like shampoos and like, I guess my mom would do like hair color sets or hair care sets. I don't know. Makeup brushes, that kind of thing. And my mom taught me really, really early that if you do that on the day after Christmas, you're pretty much set for like a month and a half. I'm like, awesome. All right, cool.
That's really cool.
There's also candy, like 50% off, so.
And now there's DVDs and stuff from like Black Friday.
Yeah.
Because we bought a couple last year.
Yeah, we got some good sales on DVDs, but now everyone's like, why would you get DVDs? We just have like streaming services and Apple and
because we like having hard copies, people. We like hard copy. What if your internet goes out?
I like the books too. They do have like 50% off like Christmas books or like stuff like that. I don't know. It's fun.
My parents would love to take me to go look at Christmas lights. Mm-hmm. This is 100%. I grew up on one road and half a mile away. So you go out off my road, make a right, go down 3 blocks, make a left, my grandma's house. Cool. My dad's. They're like, all right, let's go look at Christmas lights. Great. We get to the edge of the driveway, edge of the road, turn right, go on. My dad look in the back. I'm out cold. And he's like, why do we even take you Christmas? He's like, your mom and I looked at Christmas lights. You were asleep. And I promise you 100% I would be asleep before we'd even get to my grandma's house. It's a half a mile away and I'd be out cold. It's funny when I hit 16 time to drive, my dad goes, I don't know that I can let you in a car. He goes, I don't believe you're not going to fall asleep.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense though.
Yeah,
every time I drive, he falls asleep.
It's something about being in a car. And all that, and again, watching movies, anything.
Oh, yeah. He watches a movie and he's out.
I'm like, she's like, are you asleep? No.
He sits down on an airplane and puts his stuff underneath his seat. And then he's just gone for the whole flight. Yeah, and I'm like, wow, thanks. I'm afraid of flying, but thank you for leaving me alone.
I literally sit in the seat. I'll wrap my book bag or whatever I have on me, like around my ankle.
Mm-hmm, I do that too.
Out cold. So that way I know that if anyone moves it, I feel it. Because I'm a light sleeper if someone touches me. But I'll be like this before they even shut the door for the plane. I'm out cold. I can sleep anywhere. If I can sleep in the back of a deuce, I can sleep anywhere.
Of a what?
Deuce, military convoy truck.
Oh, okay.
If I can sleep in the back of there.
Anyone else not have a clue? Because here.
Not the safest thing, but you put the barrel of your rifle on your boots and you put your head on the butt of your rifle and just out cold.
Stop. Just don't do that. Don't ever do that, guys.
Make sure it's on safety.
But yeah, so let's talk.
Sorry.
Let's talk Christmas morning.
Okay.
Well, first of all, did you open a gift on Christmas Eve?
Yes, at my grandma's house.
So you opened some gifts.
Yes.
In my house, I don't really have a lot of family. Like at that point, I don't have any cousins. Mm-hmm. Big shocker, maybe to some of you guys, but I have 0 cousins. I have like a couple of second cousins and like one once removed or something. That's it.
I got cousins for sale.
Yeah.
I've got so many cousins. I'll sell.
And that's what I'm in for. I'm in for a huge family when I come from a teeny tiny family. My grandmother lived with us. Mm-hmm. She was my dad's mom. Mm-hmm. And then my grandfather was my mom's dad, and he would visit for Christmas. And that was the extent of everyone that I saw at Christmas. It was me, my brother, my mom, my dad, my mom's dad, and my dad's mom.
Okay.
So my grandparents, but not from the same family.
Not the same grandparents.
Not the same grandparents. And so we wouldn't like go to anybody's houses. I forgot what I was doing. I forgot what I was saying. We wouldn't go to anybody's houses or anything. So I wouldn't have to open presents here and here and here. So the excitement of opening one present, though, on Christmas Eve, we started doing that. Like, my mom started letting us open one gift on Christmas Eve.
I have a few friends that got to do that because like that was just what they did. And I always thought that was weird. But then
I know people that opened all of their gifts on Christmas Eve. I actually think it's a Cuban custom. We should ask Alex. Mm-hmm. If you guys know what culture that is, let me know. I think it's the Cuban culture where they open their gifts on Christmas Eve. But I don't remember. So help me out. I grew up near Miami, so I had a lot of Cuban friends. You were either Jewish or Cuban down there, or half and half like me. So
I grew up in Ohio. If you were from a warm climate, you stayed down there. You didn't come up to Ohio.
I didn't mean to imply that I was Cuban. I'm not. I just meant like half Hanukkah, half Christmas. That's what I meant. I was like half and half. Wait, no. People are gonna look at me like there is no way.
You are not Cuban. It's the blonde.
I
just caught hair to the face. I appreciate that one.
Oh, like you're not used to that from noise complaint shows.
Side note, I have been whipped in the face so many times on turns.
You're welcome.
Mine doesn't reach. I mean,
It
it's
will.
close.
It does now.
Wow.
And we have to share a floor this weekend.
I
Okay.
did.
Yeah, my mom was very deliberate about which present we could open
Mm-hmm.
that night because obviously it couldn't be one that Santa brought, and it couldn't be one that was like super exciting or like it couldn't be a really good one. It had to be one to like get us through the night. A lot of parents let their kids open like PJs on Christmas Eve, PJs and a movie and like some candy. That's what they're allowed to open so that they can have a good night. Yeah. So I think that's really cute. Like if I had kids, I would totally do that. I don't, so I'll just let the cats open their toys on Christmas Eve. But yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, opening presents when I got home at like 10:30 or 11, I was exhausted, as a kid. So I was just like, literally, like all the toys, all the presents would be in trash bags because that's how we bring them back. And we just bring them in the house, set them over in the dining room, go get my pajamas on, and I'd go, night mom, night dad.
Oh my God. But like, okay, what were you excited about presents wise? Like think Christmas morning. Think you're gonna wake up, Santa came. It's the 90s. What was that gift that you were dying to have? Was it a Tamagotchi?
No. I wanted one and I got one and then I killed it.
I think you told that story.
But honestly, I was a huge video game player. Huge. So I always wanted video games. Or when I was really little, I wanted art supplies.
Okay.
I remember when I was a kid, Spirograph.
I loved Spirograph.
I thought it was the coolest thing. I was like, oh, I could make cool stuff with it. I played with it for like 3 days. And then I was like, they don't make any other different things.
Oh my gosh.
But I think my thing I loved was action figures and video games. That is what like I wanted.
I would never have guessed a little boy in the 90s would have loved action figures and video games.
You know what I wanted more of, but I never got?
What?
Nerf guns.
Oh yeah.
I got like the little generic Nerf guns or my mom, she'd buy those little plastic ones at like the Dollar General.
Oh yeah.
Where like it shoots the little like rubber plastic thing and it's just
the
like,
little dart.
It's like pew.
I actually
like,
never
it's
got
the same. And then I'm like going to go have a Nerf war with my friends. I'm like pew, and they're like, and I'm like, that's not fair.
I never got Nerf guns. I used to play with them all the time because my friend's brother had them, but I never got Nerf guns ever. And I don't remember asking for video games. I know Andy did, and my brother. I know he asked for video games, and I got to play all of them. But there's only a few things that stand out as something that I, like, really wanted.
What was that?
I loved art sets, too. I wanted, like, the sand art set, and I wanted the thing to do, like, hair beading or something, and the spirograph and stuff like that. But I also really, really wanted an easy bake oven because I liked food, not because I liked to bake. And I never got an easy bake oven. You know what else? I really wanted a Power Wheels. We talked about this last week. And guess what? I never got a Power Wheels. But I think my mom was really smart. She didn't want me to have something as a toy that I would have as a utility later on in life. I think that she had a good point in saying, don't give them a toy car that they can learn to be reckless and like it. I get it. I get her decision. I may not do it myself if I had a kid, but like I get the decision. And the easy bake oven, I think she didn't want me to overeat, and I get that too.
No one wants salmonella because all that thing did was cook stuff with a light bulb. Like it was not.
I know, but you got specific food for it, and she's just like, "I'll make you brownies. You don't need an easy bake oven to eat brownies." And I was like, "Okay," but she also knew like I would just overeat. I was a big snacker. And
I think my favorite gift that I got was a Nintendo.
Okay.
That's one of the ones that I remember that I was just, I don't want to open anything else. Can I hook this up now? And they were like, you got to finish opening everything else. I was like, oh, I also had a big problem as a kid with guessing what the present was.
Oh, I don't try to. I love surprises. I don't want to ruin it at all.
My dad, like when I was little, I thought it was fun and it's something cool to do. Like I'd feel it and I'm like, oh, it's this. Turns out I was right. Almost every time. My dad would get mad because he's like, well, what's the point of, us wrapping your presents for you for Christmas if you're going to just guess? And I didn't understand it as a kid because the excitement of seeing the kid face light up is what the parents enjoy.
Yeah.
But I learned that later on when my little brother started doing that, and I was like, I'm going to punch you in the forehead, small child, because he was just like, I love bugs. And I'm like, how did you know? How did you know that it's a tube full of bugs? Like, I don't get it. Not real bugs.
Oh, I was going to be like, that's really gross.
No,
actually, why would you
little,
do that?
Plastic rubber.
Yeah.
But he had seen the tube at the store, and he said he really wanted it, so I bought it. But but the thing is that a Ninja Turtle and a Sega Genesis game are pretty recognizable packages. You know what I mean? So it was just like,
yeah, I'm trying to think of like that big present that I loved. I remember getting board games that I loved. I love board games, always have. I remember one year my family went through a time when we didn't really have a lot of money. And I asked my mom for something that I just really, really wanted. And I think I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but I think to this day, it still remains like as a child, probably my favorite thing I ever got. And it's lame. Okay. I really wanted a headset for my phone.
oh yeah, you talked
I wanted
about
to be
that.
able to do homework and talk to my friends at the same time. And when my mom got me that, I was so thrilled. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so futuristic. Look at me. And now I'm like an online teacher with a freaking headset every day talking to people I don't want to talk to.
And that's the funny part is, to me, honestly, and I don't know if all kids are this way, I don't know if you were, I would much rather have had the couple things that I really wanted than just a bunch of randomness.
I don't know, because I think the bunch of randomness to me allows people to give you more if they want to. I like giving people lots of little things. It's just fun to me. Like underneath, I've already wrapped all of my presents because I'm just type A, okay? And they're all wrapped, and there's just a ton of them. And everyone's like, I didn't get you that many things. And I'm like, that's okay. I just found a lot of little things for you.
Yeah.
So
That's the way I was as a kid. I'm a very simplistic person too, so that's probably why it kind of
Yeah.
sticks with me. But I'm the same way though. If I see something that I think someone will like, I'll pick it up. I don't care. You know, like for you, like I bought her a bunch of things because it was like, that's really cool. I hope she likes it. I think she will.
He bought me a bunch of things. I just found that out.
And it doesn't matter that
his aren't wrapped yet.
no. And what day? It's today the 8th?
Hanukkah's
Hanukkah starts in 2 days, and
I
I haven't even wrapped everything. As long as it's wrapped by Hanukkah, it's good, right?
Sure. Yeah. As long as one of them is wrapped by the first night of Hanukkah.
And
I'll be like, hey, it's present time. He'll be like, all right, give me 5 minutes.
haha. So, but no, I think the gifts stuff that I knew that I would love and that I'd play with is what I really wanted. And the other thing was when my father would make me something. My father would make me, like, I remember he would draw me something or paint me something or like sculpt me something. And that was the coolest thing because he took the time to make me something. And that meant a lot to me.
My parents weren't really that crafty back then. My dad could have built me a robot, but I don't think I wanted one. I wanted a cat. But I liked opening a lot of little things too, because for me, it's not really about the present, it's about the surprise. I love the surprise. So the more surprises there are, the happier I am. I don't care if it's like tiny, like get me a 6-pack of socks, wrap each pair individually. It'll make me really happy because that means I get to open 6 things.
Go to Amazon real quick.
And that's another thing. Can we talk about that?
What?
Nowadays, I did all my shopping at 2 places online from the comfort of that chair behind him. Back then, I used to have to get dropped off at the mall for like 3.5 hours.
And go to each
store. And there wasn't electronic funds, so I had my little wad of cash. I had to hope nobody jumped me for it. And I had to like budget out every single little thing. My first stop would always be the bookstore. I would always go to the bookstore first because they had like the coolest, niftiest stuff. And then like my best friend, she was a big goth kid. And she was a very little goth kid. Now she was like 5'1", so like as an adult, 5'2" or 3", just a little goth kid. And I would always go to Hot Topic for her because back then Hot Topic wasn't pop culture; it was like the dark side of everything. And she loved that store.
You only went in there if you wore all black.
Pretty well, I mean, or your best friend did.
Yeah.
But I loved that store because they played good music. We talked about this before. I'm a big music fan. And I would go in there. I would always get her like really, really cool chokers for Christmas because that's where you go. And so bookstore, Hot Topic. And then where else do you... Bath and Body Works. That's where you get all your friends' stuff. You go get like the little spray and the little lotion. Listen, I was a girl. Okay?
I went to Spencer's.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah, funny stuff for
the
my
girls
friends.
go to the bookstore and Bath and Body Works and like maybe Origins if you had lots of money. That was like this high-end organic makeup store. And then FYE. You go to FYE or whatever it was called back then.
We had Coconuts, which was a lot like FYE.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's like basically like music and stuff, and they'd have like clearance or like really cheap CDs or cassettes.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually having like a almost physical flashback to being in the mall in the 90s as a kid. I can hear the Christmas music, and if I hear it in my head, it doesn't count as Whamageddon, okay?
No.
I'm still not in Wham Holla. I'm doing okay.
I'm not either.
I almost was. I asked Alexa to play Christmas music, and luckily she played the Meghan Trainor version because you can listen to any different version. Anyway, tangent, but I feel like I'm in the mall. I just got my little coffee from Barney's because in my mall there was a Barney's coffee before Starbucks existed, and so I'd be walking through. I can hear the music. I can smell all the different kiosks and all like the perfumes that they're trying to sell. I can see like the long lines wrapped around the little jewelry kiosks in the middle with the watches, and then that custom t-shirt place. Look, every mall has these things.
Oh yeah.
The customized t-shirt one that's like where it's a tank top and it said I ripped off the sleeves because my guns are so big or something. I don't know.
Funny ones, yeah. I remember I did a lot of my shopping at Walmart. But
I didn't.
Or Myers, because up north we have Myers, which is like Walmart but family owned.
We didn't. It was all the
And
mall.
then I would go to the mall, but most of the time when I was a kid, I didn't buy. I bought for my mom and my dad, and my mom would take me somewhere for my dad, and my dad would take me somewhere for my mom. So.
Oh, and Walgreens. I did a lot of my shopping at Rite Aid and Walgreens.
Okay.
So, because they had like a lot of like $5 deals and stuff. And, you know, as a kid, you don't have to buy so many things, but.
Yeah, I only had to buy for my mom and my dad, and then my father would only let me make him something.
That's cute.
And
I
then
like
my
that.
stepmom, I'd usually get her something to make something or like a puzzle because that's what she loved. But I remember, and then as I got a little older, when my brothers and sister came around, then it was like, and I got to buy toys. Okay. I made a mistake 2 years.
What?
One year for Christmas, I decided my little sister loved Barbie dolls. Absolutely loved them.
Okay.
So I bought her a Barbie doll. I was super excited. You know, I got her a bunch of stuff, but I got her a Barbie doll. Next year, I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to get her some stuff and get her more Barbies because she likes Barbies. Bought her the same Barbie doll that I bought her the year before and didn't realize. And she called me out on it. She goes, want to see something funny? I was like, sure. She ran into her room, comes out and goes, ha, you got this for me last year. I was like.
She could have exchanged it for a different one.
She didn't. She was super excited. She cut one of their hair short. So that way one was older than the other. But,
that's funny.
But yeah, I just remember the feeling of just being around family and, you know, getting ready for it. It was just like.
And it's something that I'm trying to capture again. It's really hard since I can't be with my family this year. And you don't seem to be very in the spirit this year. So I'm over here going, Hallmark and Netflix movies. I've got the tree on. I've got candles going. I've got punk rock Christmas music playing all day. And I feel like I'm the only like holiday mess in this house. And I'm so ready for Hanukkah. Like so ready.
In like a week.
2 more days.
In a week, I'll be in that Christmas mindset because that's the way it is. It's always like a week and a half before Christmas. That's when it hits me.
No, I hit it really early because I guess I just needed extra joy this year. I don't know, but I love this time of year. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. And if I could just hide in my little bubble of it's the holidays and nothing can hurt me, that will make me happy. So, but yeah, I think going back in my head to the 90s made me even worse though.
Oh.
Like now I'm really Christmassy now. I'm really Hanukkah-y now. Also, if you're on YouTube, comment down below with how you think Hanukkah is spelled.
Yes.
Because there are actually, I think, 8 different ways to spell Hanukkah.
One for each night on the menorah.
There's a whole lot of different ways to spell Hanukkah, and they're all correct. So I want to know how you think Hanukkah is spelled. Because I prefer Chanukkah. That's my favorite spelling of it, but I know that there's Hanukkah. Like the song Hanukkah, Oh Hanukkah, that's how it's spelled in that song. It's I don't know, man.
I just do Google Voice and be like Hanukkah, and
Do you remember?
spells it.
Do you remember that time you made me a shirt that had all the different spellings of Hanukkah on
Yes.
it? I gotta find that shirt. Anyway, this was a fun podcast. This was a blast.
It was a lot of fun. It's definitely really good. It definitely got me a little more pumped about the holiday season.
Oh, good. I've been waiting for you to get a little more pumped about this season.
Because, it's just God, I almost said it. It's the most wonderful time.
I rewrote the words to that when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah?
That was my first parody song. I do a lot of parody songs. I said, it's the most horrible time of the year with all the kids yelling and everyone smelling of holiday beer. And that was my first parody. I was like 10, and I am still remembering that.
That's funny. I never heard that.
I was a big parody fan.
Still are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Check out my my 2 Christmas parodies. I re-released one this Monday, and I'm re-releasing another one next Monday now that I actually know how to record vocals and make them sound good. First time I did these, it didn't sound good. So I'm re-releasing them. I re-released COVID Carol, which is the 12 days of coronavirus.
Yes.
I
Link
made
in the description.
Also, another disclaimer, I made it back in June, so there's a lot more I could have said about COVID. But I know I didn't change the words. I just re-released the track with like audio engineering. So don't at me. And Thanos is coming to town. I'm re-releasing on Monday. So definitely check that out on my personal YouTube channel, youtube.com/JenneVermeese. And I'll put that below in the YouTube description. But if you're on the Spotify or the whatever you listen to podcasts on, check out my channel and listen to my terrible songs.
Go to YouTube's. Go to the YouTube.
Look, they're funny. I have my WAP parody.
Yes.
I made a parody of WAP. If you guys didn't know that, I made one about like high-speed Wi-Fi. So for us, WAP stands for wireless access point, and not what it's supposed to stand for, which is actually waffles and pancakes.
I love waffles and pancakes.
Me too. You want to have that for dinner?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, thank you guys for joining us for this podcast. This was so much fun.
Wait.
And let us know what you're excited about for the holiday season and how you spell Hanukkah.
Yes, because that is a most important thing. So last podcast, we asked a question.
Yes, we did. We said, what soda's working name was Mountain Dew Killer? So that was our trivia question. And if you guys answered Surge, you are correct. So Surge was created as a way to like compete with Mountain Dew. It didn't last long, but every gamer in the world shed a tear the day that they took it off the market.
Oh yeah. It was so good. That was one of my favorite drinks to drink when my mom said, "No caffeine." Okay. You okay?
Yeah, I just got really good news on my phone, which happens to be our camera. Okay, let's go to the question so I can freak out about it after.
So the question for the next podcast episode will be...
what Nickelodeon show kickstarted the careers of Nick Cannon, Kenan Thompson, and Amanda Bynes? So if you know the answer of what show that was, let us know in the comments, and we will let you guys know if you're right. And if you're on the podcast, message us on social media and let us know there. And yeah.
This has been a blast reminiscing about holidays growing up. I've had a blast with you. I hope you guys are in the holiday spirit. I hope you guys are doing good and having a blast out there.
A safe blast.
Yes, be safe out there. Keep everybody, all your loved ones, safe and toasty warm.
Lots of hot chocolate.
Yes, hot chocolate.
Oh, I ordered us vegan hot chocolate. I just made his day.
But now I'm sad that it's not in the kitchen.
No, it's coming tomorrow.
Oh, well, that's even better.
Cool.
But thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like on whatever platform you're listening to. Follow us. Let us know that you enjoy this. Comment below, like you said, your favorite way to spell Hanukkah.
And what you love about the season or what you're excited about for the season this year.
And your favorite present.
Okay, yeah, sure. Just talk to us.
Yes, say hello. But I'm Safety Scissors.
And I'm Duct Tape.
And we're out of here. Thanks for listening.